With pressure mounting against Palestinian leadership, many are beginning to wonder just how long the Palestinian Authority can continue to hold out. Returning now to the studio to discuss Israel's option for if and when the PA should collapse is the founder and executive director of the Israel Institute for Strategic Studies, Dr. Martin Sherman. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Sherman.
Thank you. Just allow me 1 second to express my condolences to the full family on the tragic loss of Ari in this brutal terrorist attack. Very, very sad.
Yes, thank you. We're very much still in shock about that. Well, that brings us to this situation at hand. First of all, I have to ask, do you think that the Palestinian Authority is in imminent collapse? Are we seeing the beginning of a collapse there?
Well, it's certainly plausible, and one might hope so. I think the Palestinian Authority expresses one of the major faults in the whole ill-advised, to put it mildly, the Oslo process. And I think that as the Oslo process descends into ignominious failure, I think the Palestinian Authority should sink with it.
Mm-hmm. So that brings us to the question, of course, you saw that the Trump administration has cut the last of its funds to Palestinian programs. Of course, they defunded all their funds to UNRWA in recent weeks. Do you think, now a lot of the money for UNRWA goes to refugee agencies all over the globe, but do you think that the cut of that money is going to impact the political infrastructure in the West Bank?
Well, it certainly may have a very positive impact in the fact that it might take the right of return, which envisages millions of Palestinians returning to the so-called former homes in Israel. And I think there will now be increasing pressure for more logical solution for them to be settled in their countries of residence in the Arab world, where they've been living for decades. And this should be the logical outcome of the cutting of the funds of UNRWA, because UNRWA basically was never really a humanitarian organization. It was a political organization using humanitarian issues to advance its political goal, i.e. the right of return, which basically would spell the end of Israel as the nation state of the Jewish people.
Right. So that brings me to the future. If and when the Palestinian Authority should collapse, of course, there's many different end scenarios. There could be one successor that kind of keeps a centrified government. There could be tribal warfare, in a sense, criminal warfare, gang warfare. My question is, what would be in Israel's best interest to deal with in the event of collapse?
Well, I think we've discussed this before in the past, and I think that the only solution that is commensurate with Israel's long-term survival as the nation-state of the Jewish people is the eventual immigration of the Arab population in Judea and Samaria, or a large part of it, under a system whereby there are positive incentives for leaving and negative disincentives for staying. Mm. I believe the only way that Israel can continue to endure as a nation-state of the Jewish people is by dramatically eroding the presence of the Arab west of the Jordan River. And I think the resettling of the Arab refugees in the Arab world could be an important precedent for this kind of development. Mm-hmm.
Well, many believe that that's exactly what's shortly to happen, especially if pressure from the U.S. and other allies keeps pressuring the Palestinians like this. Dr. Sherman, I'm sure we'll be talking about this again. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.